Hi. So, it's been a few weeks. Apologies for the absence. I was a little busy getting married, which was surprisingly exhausting, but really great. I had a wonderful time, but I am definitely ready and excited to get back to business as usual, rambling at length about little plastic women. So, this is a video I've wanted to do for a while, actually. And then when our wedding date finally rolled around, I just thought, okay, literally it's now or never, so here we are. One of the reasons I was a little apprehensive about filming this one is that I was worried it would be too repetitive, because I wasn't actually sure how many variations of white wedding gown Barbie could do before it started to get kind of tedious. But after actually amassing my lists, I can say I underestimated Barbie a little. And for that, I humbly apologize, Miss Barbara. That said, I am going to channel my inner say yes to the dress diva. No, actually, even pettier, my Four Weddings bride. Did any of you ever watch Four Weddings? That is peak petty. But what I'm trying to say is that since a lot of these dresses do have very similar silhouettes, similar concepts, I want to be nitpicky and fussy and difficult, because that's what weddings are really all about, right? I actually do really love the aesthetics of weddings. We personally opted for something pretty small and intimate, but I love a big wedding that I don't have to be involved in. And I love wedding dresses too, so I'm excited to rank them. I do have one big disclaimer before I get into it, and it's that I probably did not get every single wedding Barbie. In fact, I'm pretty sure I am missing a few, and that's because, unlike with, the holiday Barbies and the birthday Barbies, Mattel got very creative with these names sometimes. They're not all so straightforward as Wedding Barbie or Bride Barbie, so getting them all into an ordered list was actually not a very easy task. And I think I did end up missing a few of them, but it's okay. It's fine. I promise you, it's fine. Also, full disclosure, I wanted to focus this video specifically on mainline wedding Barbies, so that means no one-of-a-kind wedding Barbies, and also no wedding Barbies that were a collaboration with, a real live fashion designer. And as I say with all tier lists, your opinions will be different from mine, especially when it comes to wedding dresses, I imagine. Everyone has their own very particular tastes, and I'm very interested in if you agree or disagree with me. Just don't take it personally if I call a Barbie ugly here. Barbara and I are besties. We have an understanding. She knows it's not that serious. Oh, man. I miss this. Talking for an obscene amount of time in the video intro. And I know you missed it too. Anyways, the tier list. So, fun fact. Most of you who have gotten married will probably know this, but most wedding dresses, especially today, are not actually pure white. They are an off-white. Simply because off-whites have a better chance of looking flattering on a wider range of skin tones, whereas pure white is likely to look more harsh or washed out, especially in photographs. And off-whites come in a variety of undertones. And I know a lot of people think, oh, no, white is white. But the girls who get it will get it. It's actually extremely important to take into account both the specific shade of off-white and the fabric choice when selecting a wedding dress. Anyways, I bring this up because I needed a theme for my tier list, and I spent entirely too long thinking about it. I was so stumped because I'd already done cake flavors for a birthday Barbie video. So this time we're doing off-whites, and I have no idea how opinionated people are about which off-white is better than another off-white, but I hope very opinionated. because people arguing with my tier list names are actually some of my favorite comments, like unironically. So in order of my favorite Off-White, which represents the top tier, to my least favorite, which represents the bottom tier, and the others in between. All right, I have my tier list set up. Let's go ahead and get into it. But first, I do have a word from today's sponsor. It's no secret that weddings are expensive. They're a lot of work and they require so much budgeting to make sure you're ahead of it all on top of any day-to-day expenses you might already have. So if this is something you need help with, that's where today's sponsor will come in. Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. For example, Rocket Money has an extremely useful budgeting feature, not just for big life events, but for your everyday expenses too. It creates customized budgets within seconds, monitors your spending habits by different categories, and provides insights on how you can stay within your budget better. This helps me make sure I always have enough set aside to plan for, so I don't stress about any upcoming bills or charges. And of course, saving money is extremely important too. Once you connect your bank account, Rocket Money identifies all your recurring charges and subscriptions in a single place, even ones you might not have been aware you were still paying for. And from there, with just a few taps, Rocket Money might be able to help you cancel them. To save more and spend less, join the over 5 million members using Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/darlingdolls or click the link in the description to get started for free. Again, thank you so much to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into these Barbies. Starting with the 1959 wedding day dress. Like many of Barbie's fashions from this early era, this one was released as a fashion pack and was reproduced many, many times over the years. It being her first wedding outfit, it holds a special icon status for sure. The lace overlay is really beautiful, really classic, especially on such a small scale. The craftsmanship of Barbie clothing in the 60s was totally unmatched in a lot of ways, but I think she looks very beautiful, very delicate. I think that's a word we're going to see a lot in this video, delicate. It is just a little traditional for my taste, and to be fair, it was 1959, but even so, I'm putting her into diamond. Next, another fashion pack, 1963 Bride's Dream Barbie. This one is a bit of a step down for me. I love the poofiness, I love the tears, though the construction actually leaves a little to be desired. And when I just complimented 60s Barbie clothing too, well, it's still a lot better than most of the stuff we get today, so... Anyways, the skirt is fine. The bodice is cut, just looks way too much like a t-shirt. It's giving Kylie Jenner's wedding, but somehow even worse, as she goes into champagne. Next, 1967's Beautiful Bride Barbie outfit, another fashion pack. Whereas the 1963 one seemed like a step down, this one feels like a more mature evolution of 1959. You know, she's a little older now. She's on husband number 3. She used the life insurance from husband number 2 to pay for this dress, and she went all out. I think the shape of it, the silhouette, the structure is all very beautiful. Maybe husband number 3 is the one. I don't know if I can put her directly into the top, but she's a very strong diamond. 1968 Barbie Wedding Wonder dress. I guess she didn't like the last one as much as I did because she got a new one right after. But this would have been around the time Empire waist wedding gowns were very in style, so I could see Mattel wanting to catch up with that trend. She looks very pretty. I love the idea of a wedding dress with a cape. That's very fun to me. However, and this is a personal thing, I personally associate polka dots as something very juvenile, even if it's in a lace pattern and It just looks sort of out of place in a wedding dress to me. But I do love the shape. I would love to see this style of wedding dress come back one day. I'm going to put her into ivory. 1971 Sweetheart Satin Fashion Pack. Finding a good picture for this one was like actually impossible. Thank you, modcolors.com, for not updating your website in the last decade. It really came in clutch here. Anyways, another Empire waist look. This one is very 70s, right down to almost having a sort of like nightgown quality to it, which I like, actually. I think it makes her look very dreamy. I'm still not wowed by it though, so I'm gonna put her into diamonds. You might think I'm being too picky, and I am, but that's very much in the spirit of weddings. 1976 Beautiful Bride Barbie. Now we're in doll territory rather than just fashion packs. This one is cute. She's cute. She's fine. She's okay. She doesn't come off as remarkable to me. You know, on Say Yes to the Dress, she would be the very first dress that the bride tries on. It's what she asked for, but it's not what she really wants, you know? Not really. I also think it just needs more volume, especially since the illustration on the box, the dress looks way fuller than it really is. So for false advertising, I'm going to put her into champagne. 1977 Supersize Bridal Barbie. Mattel decided this one would be 18 inches tall. Leave it to Barbie to want to grow an extra 6 inches for her big day. She's going to make sure she's the center of attention one way or another. The dress is very pretty, though. Being on a slightly larger scale, you know, they got to be a little more intricate with the details. You'll notice that a lot of wedding Barbies avoid using detailed lace patterns because the smaller you go on the scale, the more difficult it becomes to source and to work with. But the lace here is actually pretty well done. I think she's going to go into diamond. I have a feeling this tier is going to be pretty populated. If you were wondering, this is what I wore to my wedding. But fun fact about me, I don't like wearing turtlenecks, so I'm kind of suffering right now. 1978 Beautiful Bride Barbie. Not to be confused with the 1976 Beautiful Bride Barbie. So we're starting to get into the 80s, and that means huge, poofy, voluminous ball gowns, big sleeves, big skirts, big hair, everything I love. We're getting there, though. We're not quite there yet. This one is a good example of what I just talked about, how lace becomes pretty difficult at such a small scale, where it stops looking delicate and takes on a more doily sort of quality to it. And I don't think anyone wants to look like a doily on their wedding day, so I'm gonna put her into champagne. 1989 Wedding Fantasy Barbie. So, fun fact, the reason you'll see a lot of wedding Barbies make liberal use of words like fantasy or dream is because Mattel has always been very adamant since Barbie's inception that she never get married, not for real. So anytime you see her in these wedding sets, the implication is that she's only fantasizing about getting married. That's also why it's not super common to release a wedding kin alongside her. There is sometimes a kin, but usually there isn't because, let's be real, it's Barbie's wedding day. Kin, he's just there. A lot of the time, I like to think it's like that episode of Glee where Sue Sylvester marries herself. I can see Barbie doing that. Anyways, 1989 Wedding Fantasy Barbie. See, this is everything to me. This is the level of poofiness, of fluffiness, of volume I want to see in my Barbies. I want my Barbies to look like they could start floating away like a blimp at a moment's notice. I want my Barbies to look like they are one open flame away from another Hindenburg disaster. We're getting there. Oh, we're getting there. She's going into diamond. 1991 Dream Bride Barbie. Yes, I mean, Yes, it's everything I want. Volume, layers, princess level ball gowns, sparkly, crinkly cellophane. This is Barbie to me. This is what a wedding Barbie should be. And this is one that's going into the top tier. Yes, she's a blush to me. I love her. 1992 Romantic Bride Barbie. This is another really good one. I just love how it's both elegant and playful. Regal, but in a princessy sort of way. Classy, but still youthful. Delicate. Really, though, I think she's so pretty, and I know my taste in wedding attire doesn't necessarily align with other people's. I acknowledge that, but I take into account both my personal taste and also what just feels very Barbie to me, and this feels very Barbie. I'm gonna put her into Diamond. 1993 Wedding Fantasy Barbie. This one was released in a 2-pack with Akin, but this isn't about him. This is about Barbie. And we are just getting hit after a hit after a hit. This one is a little simpler than the past two, but I think the little details in it are still really nice, really effective. It's a very fun look, but I am admittedly easily impressed by a fluffy ball gown with pink elements present. Is it a strong bias? Yes, but I do think this dress holds up regardless. I'm gonna put her into blush too. Also from 1993, the Dream Wedding Set. This one came with Barbie's little sister Stacy and her little brother Todd, who would cease to exist very shortly after this set came out. But again, this isn't about them, because I do think as a set, they all look very cute together. But I do think Barbie here looks a little plain. It's a very basic wedding dress, gorgeously fluffy, so it does gain some points for that, but the basic neckline, the basic bodice, and even her veil isn't doing anything particularly interesting. So I'm going to put her into Champagne. 1994's Country Bride Barbie. I've already said this, but I think polka dots are just too juvenile, even for Barbie. And as someone from Texas, I take offense to the fact that she thinks all it takes is some gingham ribbon to make you a country bride. If you're going to commit to a theme, then commit to a theme. Do you have any idea how many weddings I've been to where the bride was wearing cowgirl boots? Too many. My culture is not your costume, Barbie. I think this one is gonna be our first beige. Also from 1994, Wedding Party Barbie, who was also in a set with her siblings. So this might be petty of me, but I hate a drop waist wedding gown. I cannot stand a drop waist wedding gown. They vex me. And it's sad because if this had the more traditional ball gown silhouette, I would probably love it because the lace here is really well done. The skirt is super fluffy. It's just, I can't do a drop waist gown. I just can't. I'm putting her into Ivory. 1996 Dream Bride Barbie. So I remember when I did my ranking video for 1996 Barbies, there were so many dolls that had this same exact crazy updo. It was a very popular style for Barbie in 1996, I guess. And I don't love it, especially on a wedding doll. It almost looks like completely at odds with the actual doll. Because I do like the dress. It's a very interesting design. It would just look so much better with a hairstyle that does not require industrial grade glue to accomplish. So, she goes into Ivory as well. Also from 1996, Rose Bride Barbie. So, with a name like Rose Bride Barbie, I don't know, I just expect more, because I notice a concerning lack of roses. It's a cute dress, sure, but it's also definitely one that we've seen before, a few times at this point. And again, if you're going to do a theme, commit to a theme. This is Barbie we're talking about. She goes into Champagne. Wedding Fantasy Barbie, also from 1996. Whew, busy year for Barbie. This is another one that came with a kin. Barbie here looks really, really, really cute, though. I think the big bow in her hair does feel maybe a little childish, but it definitely doesn't ruin the look for me. In fact, I think it adds to it because it's a very, very elegant dress, but it has these touches of whimsy that keep it feeling very Barbie. And I'm also someone who, just likes a little whimsy in general, so I'm going to put her into Diamond. 1997 gives us Club Wed Barbie. What is Club Wed, you might be wondering? I don't know. I think it was a wedding registry service offered through Target, and this Barbie was exclusive to that program or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but she's nice. I'm not entirely sure how to feel about the gold details. Part of me thinks it might be a little much, but then another part of me likes that it's a little much. Again, it's that whimsy. And if Barbie's gonna go one way or the other, I would definitely prefer her to be over the top as opposed to being simple. So I think I'm gonna put her into Ivory. There was another Club Wed Barbie in 1998, and I like this one a little better because it's pink, you might ask. Yes, the answer is yes. It is perhaps a little understated, but not in a bad way, because the dress still looks complete. It's solid in its presentation. It's, yet again, a good balance between cute and elegant. So I'm going to bump this Club Wed up to Diamond. 1999 gave us Millennium Bride Barbie. I don't like this. In fact, I kind of hate this. I've never been a fan of, beading, not on human dresses, and especially not on dolls. I also don't really like the color. It's very beige-y. In fact, if not for the veil, I don't think I would ever guess this was meant to be a wedding Barbie. So I'm really just not feeling this one. Appropriately, I think she's going to go into beige. Also in 1999, though, Millennium Wedding Barbie from the Bridal Collection, who will be a recurring presence for the next couple of years. Between the two Millennium Barbies, this one is a lot better. I really like this one. I love the detailing on her bodice. I love the shape of her dress. And after seeing so many necklaces that are just like a simple string of pearls, it's nice to see one with a little more shape to it. She's gorgeous. She's really, really pretty. She goes into Diamond. Also in 1999, another busy, busy year for Barbie, Blushing Bride Barbie. It's a really solid It's okay. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't do much for me. She feels like she's missing a certain something, a je ne sais quoi, So she's going into, I think, Champagne. Yeah, Champagne. Dream Wedding Barbie from 2000. Barbie. Horizontal stripes on a wedding gown? No, ma'am. Absolutely not. No. Right into beige. Princess Bride Barbie, also from 2000. Now this is a redemption. This is how you do it. Oh, she's so gorgeous. And it's two looks in one, as you can see from the box. And both of them, even though the first one isn't technically a bride look, I think both of them make for really, really lovely wedding dresses. It's poofy, it's princess, it's on theme. It's basically everything I could ever want from a wedding Barbie, so I'm gonna put her into Blush. Romantic Wedding Barbie from 2001, also from the Bridal Collection. Gorgeous, stunning, show-stopping. I actually wasn't sure at first how I felt about a floral pattern on the skirt of a wedding dress, but the more I look at it, the more I think about it, the more I really, really like it. It's that exact kind of untraditional touch that I like on a wedding dress, the kind that's out of the box, but not so much that it loses the wedding aspect. Plus, this is the exact silhouette that I love down to the shape of the bodice. The waist is perhaps a little low, but the corset shape helps it, so... You know what? I think we have another blush. Wedding Bouquet Barbie, also from 2001. Again, not against the floral pattern. What I am against is that her skirt just looks kind of sad, needs more volume. If it's not going to be form-fitting, then it needs a lot of poof. Sorry, no in-betweens, and the like harness straps across her chest. Very bizarre choice here. However, this Barbie comes with a spring-loaded arm, so she can actually toss her bouquet, which I think is just an absolutely incredible innovation in wedding dolls. So that actually saves her from being in the bottom. Instead, she'll go into champagne. Sophisticated Wedding Barbie from 2002, another from the bridal collection, and another really good one. I am so in love with the almost like Victorian inspiration in this one. And the dress itself, brocade, mind you, looks exceptionally well made. This is a really good wedding Barbie. Probably one of my favorites so far, actually. I'm going to put her right into blush. See, I'm not that picky. Wedding Day Barbie, also from 2002. This is another doll with a gimmick. As you can see on the box, her dress can transform into a few different versions. One with a tighter skirt and one with a shorter skirt. It's very pretty, and I appreciate the boldness of a customizable wedding dress. However, I don't know if the overall look is particularly strong, especially compared to some others we've seen, so I think she's pretty solidly in the middle. A very solid ivory. Wedding Wishes Barbie from 2003. A beautiful, so elegant, so delicate. If I had to use a word to describe this one, like I didn't already use a bunch of words to describe it, I would say polished. Very polished. There's absolutely nothing to dislike about this one, I think. When I look at the ones I put in the top tier, I think this one does just kind of miss that little extra something that pushes her over the edge for me, if that makes sense. So she's an extremely good doll, just not one of my personal favorites. And that's fine. She's a perfectly good diamond. 2004's Beautiful Bride Barbie. I feel very similarly about this one. Like, there's nothing wrong here. Nothing I can insult or be petty or snarky or catty about, unfortunately. It doesn't excite me. Great gowns, beautiful gowns. Gonna put her in, I guess, ivory. That feels fair. 2006 Wedding Ring Twinkles Barbie. This is another one that I'm just very whelmed and sort of ambivalent on. She has a very, very pretty face. It's not the dress, you know? The glittery lace overskirt is cute, and the flowers too. Very Barbie, but the bodice, I don't know, it just needs something. So, I guess ivory for this one too. 2007 Wedding Day Barbie. I find myself very endeared to this one, and I don't know if just seeing this specific shade of pink or that crunchy glitter overlay or all those little squiggly sparkles, but she just feels so nostalgic. It's a very campy take on a wedding dress, I concede to that, but I think we've established that's something I kind of tend to like quite a lot. I don't know if she's a top tier material, maybe not, but I can put her into diamond with a clear conscience, I think. 2008 Wedding Day Sparkle Barbie. I would love this one so much more if it wasn't a drop waist, like so much more, because yes, it's sort of a simple look, a very basic wedding dress silhouette, but the head to toe sparkles and glitter is just kind of everything to me. However, drop waist, and we know how I feel about a drop waist. I will say it's not so bad on this one. It's just I have to be a little petty, I guess. So I'm gonna put her into ivory. The I Can Be Bride Barbie from 2009. What's very camp about this one is the fact that she has one single articulated wrist in order to like show off her ring. That's such a cute attention to detail, right? And the dress is Pretty, I think for a basic 2009 slim box Barbie, it does have some pretty decent volume, and it looks well constructed and everything. I love the little touch of signature pink in the bow. I hate to repeat myself, but I'm just really not wowed. It's good, great even, just not a favorite, so she goes into Diamond. 2011 Princess Bride Barbie. A very unfortunate downgrade from the previous Princess Bride Barbie. In fact, there's not much that says princess at all. It's giving more jellyfish, which if you want to look like a jellyfish on your wedding day, all the power to you, but I don't think that was intentional. What bothers me the most is the ruching on the bodice, because it makes it look very lumpy and unflattering, and I know they're not polka dots on her skirt, not technically, but they look close enough to them that it bothers me, so I'm putting this one into beige. 2012 Wedding Barbie. This one almost feels like the platonic ideal of a bride Barbie, especially for the early 2010s. Pink, glitter, sparkles, random little swirls, serving face, and I'm kind of here for it. I understand it's a little hypocritical of me to call other dresses juvenile, and then I see sparkles and I go, oh, pretty, but I think it comes down to intention. And also, I just really love that very unapologetically Barbie aesthetic, so I'm going to put her into Diamond. 2014 Wedding Barbie. The naming of the Wedding Barbies around the 2010s is kind of ambiguous, by the way. They were the most difficult to track down because the boxes weren't labeled and they went by different names. Sometimes it was Wedding Day, sometimes it was something like Royal Wedding or Royal Bride. Anyways, the only thing worse than a drop waist on a wedding gown, a peplum on a wedding gown. Absolutely not. That alone is enough for me to put this one into beige. 2015 Wedding Barbie. This is always the point in tier lists where things start to go severely downhill. Unfortunately for us, it actually sort of ends here. There were a few more bride Barbies after this one, but they all look almost identical to this one, to the point that it's not even worth including them. After a while, we stopped getting wedding Barbies completely, and I think that just comes down to Mattel's marketing and how they wanted Barbie to be perceived in this new era. That's a whole other conversation, though. Instead, we can talk about how ugly this doll is. Now, I'm not fully against the idea of a molded-on bodice. However, there is no bodice to even speak of. They just completely sprayed Barbie's bare chest with glitter. Barbie, girl, I thought this was a classy party. I don't know, maybe I can appreciate the boldness. And actually I can't because it's just cheap. And also another peplum, garbage, right into beige. But we do have one more. 2015's Zombie Bride Barbie from the Haunted Beauty collection. And what a doll to end on, right? Like, it's Mother. How can you not say Mother? She's always been such an incredibly iconic doll. And to even just judge, like, the wedding dress, I think it's gorgeous. The lace, the fit, the pearls, everything is just really well designed. It's so incredibly rare that I get to end these Barbie tier list videos on a good note, but I think she's going into blush. And there we have it, my official wedding Barbie tier list. It's now your turn to tell me if you agree or disagree with my rankings and why. Also, another fun question to drive engagement: if you could design a wedding gown for Barbie, how would you make it? Or really anything that's on your mind, tell me down there in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really happy to just be back here on YouTube making videos. I'm really excited for everything that's coming up in this year, and I'm really excited also to spend it with you guys. Bye-bye, and remember, keep it cute.